everyone. Today we're going to be interviewing the manager for MK's trading company. First, we're going to start with readiness for change. Readiness for change means how prepared an organization and its employees are to accept and support a change, such as new technology, new strategy, or new processes. Now, strength employees support improvement and less resistance to change. Limitation employees may resist if they fear job loss, or lack of training can also slow the change. Poor communication can create confusion. Now, my question to you, do you think MK's trading company employees are usually ready to accept changes in the company? And what helps or limits this readiness?
Hi, Assalamu alaikum. Good morning. This is Muhammad from MKS. Thank you for your question. Now, in regards to readiness for change, change is something that is constant, right? That is inevitable in the market. That is something that will happen regardless of whether we want it or not. Now, in terms of MKs or in general, I would say changes. I would say is of two types, right? You'll have change which is bottoms up, I from the which is from the cashier side to me, the manager, to discuss with the management, right? Or from the top down, which is from us, the management, to towards the cashiers in the store, right?
Moving to communication process. Communication process is how information moves between people and how do they communicate in the company. Steps could be sender message, channel, receiver, and feedback. Now, my question to you, how does communication usually happen in your organization? Meetings, online meetings, emails, or direct discussion?
To answer your second question, the communication process, I would say, is quite critical in regards to change or in general as well. Uh, Me as a manager has to always be available to the staff, obviously within boundaries, yes, but they have to be comfortable and feel easy enough to call me at any time, at any situation, within the limitations kept, right? So the staff therein should not be hesitant to, I would say, contact or communicate to me at anything, for any issue. Now, for us here at MKs, what we do is we have meetings, right? So primarily it's meetings with myself and the director of the company in regards to strategies, operations, so on and so forth.
Programmatic versus participatory communication. Programmatic communication, top down, management decides the change and the employees are informed only. An example, a new policy announcement could be just an email announcement with the changes. Participatory communication, the employees participates, they get feedback and suggestions, and it's more collaboration. An example could be meetings to discuss the change. Now, my question to you, which approach do you prefer in MK's trading company, top-down communication or involving employees in discussion, and why?
For us here at MKs, as I mentioned for the response to my first question, we have, I would say, both. So now, in terms of the implementations for processes or change in general, it's, as I said, there's a two-way line of communication, right? There's both from the director side or from the head office side with me in terms of, I would say, strategic change or in terms of, let's say, market comparison, right? So that is one level of information that we get. And second, I would say, is from the store itself, which is, I would say, more real-time communication, which is more of a bottoms-up change. So both of these are being implemented here at MKs. So it's a two-way street really. So, and that's, I would say, the essence of my job here. As a manager, I would look at both sides and essentially sit with both sides also to discuss this.
To question 4, non-verbal communication. Non-verbal communication means communication without words, like body language, facial expressions, and tone voice, eye contact. Importance in the change: builds trust, shows confidence, and helps motivate employees. Now, my question to you, do you think non-verbal communication from leaders affect how employees accept the change?
Yes, to answer the fourth question, which is non-verbal communication, yes, for sure there is a clear influence in the non-verbal communication to the staff members, to the employees. The larger, I would say, effect is obviously the verbal communication, but still the non-verbal also has a material effect. It is because of the way I communicate information that the staff perceives how the change will be. So, for example, I could deliver something and be stressful about it, right? And the staff can see that no, he's worried on something, and accordingly, they might be worried as well, right? So, to not induce panic or to not cause worry, I have to be quite clear in terms of my communication skills.
Sense making and sense giving. Sense making, employees interpret and understand what's happening during a change. Sense giving, leaders help employees understand the meaning of the change and guide how they should view it. So, how do leaders in your organization help employees understand changes or new strategies?
All right, so in terms of sense making and sense giving, for us at MKs, as I said, we have an open door policy and a two-way method of communication, right? Both from the director side, i.e., the management side, as well as from the staff side, also the employees in that sense. So what we do is, especially during the processes of and implementations of changes, we send a written instruction as to how the plan is going to be laid out with the timelines and whatnot. Then it is discussed physically within the store. We have like a team huddle, I would say, right, with the team leader as well as the staff. We discuss the change, any possible concerns that they have.
Organizational culture. Is it something an organization is or has? Some researchers say culture is something an organization has, values, rules, and traditions. Others say culture is something an organization is because it shapes how employees behave and think every day. So how would you describe the culture at MK's trading company? And do you think culture strongly influences employee behavior or no?
This is a good question. So culture, I would say it's both really. It's what an organization has as well as what an organization currently is. So, okay, I'll give an example. I think that's a better way to explain this. So for us at MKs, the processes that we have beforehand, right? That would be, I would say, what the culture has. So, for example, the customer interaction, right? Or quality assurance, I would say, in other words, is something that we have, which MK has implemented, right? So, for example, as soon as the customer comes in the store, until they leave or exit, the whole of the interaction has a set standard. And how to greet the customers, how to assist them, how to check out their items, so on and so forth, until they leave, and how to greet them when they leave, you pack things, and etc., right? So there's a whole process. There's a whole process there. So I would say that is a vital aspect of culture that we at MKs have. Now, what the culture that is I would say what is currently, I would say, being done without management oversight.
Moving on to the last question, it's about the dysfunctional organizational culture. A dysfunctional culture exists when behaviors in an organization become unethical, toxic, or harmful to productivity. Examples of this: lack of transparency, poor communication, unethical behavior, fear of speaking up. The strategy for managing cultural change, it's clear ethical leadership, open communication, training programs, rewarding positive behavior, employee feedback systems. So, if an organization develops unhealthy behaviors or practices, what strategies would you suggest to change the culture?
Right, for the last question, in terms of dysfunctional culture, I would say in this situation, before the situation, so there's two approaches in this scenario. First would be before the problem arises. All right. And second, when there's an issue. So the first one can be mitigated or resolved by constant, let's say, review of the process. So myself as a manager, I go to the store at least weekly, ideally more, but at the very least, I have a policy for myself to go to the store and visit it weekly just to see how things are. Are there any issues, any problems? And these are surprise visits, so to speak, at different shifts, at different times. By the way, our store runs 24/7. So essentially, I go and have a look and see how things are on the ground, and just to sort of cull or remove any problems before they arise. So this is, I would say, in terms of the mitigation of any dysfunctional cultures.
Thank you, Mohammed, for your time and valuable contribution for this interview.